Thank you to Cooper Sees Truth for directing my attention to this video right here on Tim Pool's channel, where on October 18th, he and Sam Seder had a conversation I think you're going to find very, very interesting. No exaggeration. And you're going to want to stick around for this because both Tim and Sam are going to expose themselves in such a way that it will leave no doubt in your mind what kind of people these two are. Before I get into this video, I want to thank my sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. I will only bring you guys products and services that I personally use and am 100% sold on. The main reason I use Virtual Shield is because it works. Every time I'm online, I count on them to hide my activity, my identity, and my location. My internet service provider can't even see what I'm doing online. And they don't even know I'm online for that matter. And even if they could somehow see my activity, they wouldn't know where the heck I am because Virtual Shield pings your IP address from a completely different location. This month, you can take an extra 40% off of everything they offer, including IdentiSafe and Protection Plus. $2.99 a month, guys. That's a dime a day to protect you and up to 15 different devices at the same time. Just click on my link in the description, download Virtual Shield, hit connect, and you're done. Set it and forget it. Now guys, I am chomping at the bit to comment on this video, but I'm going to do something different this time. This original video is an hour and 38 minutes long, but everything you need to know about Tim Pool and Sam Seder in their own words is distilled in this 13-minute clip. What I'm going to do is play it all the way through, and instead of me giving my thoughts on it, you give me your thoughts on it in the comment section below. I'll break it down in a subsequent video, but I don't want to inject any of my opinion into it so as not to slant your view. So sit back, relax, and be completely amazed at what these two actually admit.
Called the police department to see if he could get a sticker saying that he owned the car because he kept getting pulled over so much. And the cop said, "Are you black?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "Nothing I can do." Now, I never had that experience. And he, I think, based upon his car versus mine, was doing better than me economically. And I mean, I think that is I think is an example of, it's not to diminish at all the experience that you had. And I think
right.
And it doesn't
and racism
diminish.
is a serious issue in this country.
Right.
Especially. I agree with your assessment. I think that is a big problem.
An example of where you can be subjected to racism, and not have it be a function of your class.
I agree completely.
And so, I mean, we have perfect examples in the Northwest Territory in the mid 1800s. We had 10,000 very successful black free farmers, and these states all passed laws. They're successful now, right? I mean, they're doing well and passed laws that were specifically targeted to discriminate against them. We've seen that with different groups, throughout the history of the United States. None that were necessarily as durable as African Americans. So I don't think there's a mutual exclusiveness to this. I think for the, I find me a politician outside of AOC who is more, and maybe a few others, who is more concerned about not just race, but also poverty issues and economic justice and environmental justice. And I will doff my cap to you, but I don't think you're going to find them. Now, no politician is perfect, but the fact of the matter is we have two parties in this country, and you can say I'm not going to choose either, but all you're doing is you're basically just sitting on the sidelines. You're not participating in the democracy. The hardest choice in the world is to choose between the lesser of two evils.
Well, I'm voting.
And the fact is that you can vote for somebody who has no chance of winning, but it's more or less the exact same act. You're just you might as well go out and paint the mural.
I'm supporting Tulsi and to a lesser extent Andrew Yang, and so either one of them will get my vote.
And I think, but I'm talking about in the general election. I mean,
I'm going to vote for either of them no matter what happens. Well, I might vote for myself.
Well,
I'm more of a like a union collective bargaining type mentality in that we must stand up and strike against whatever, even if we're on the losing side,
well,
right?
I do agree with the idea of withholding your labor, but the fact is that, Tim, is that voting is not about your labor. It is it is simply a number.
I don't mean that. I mean like if you're at work and you had two managers and you were getting stiffed on pay, and one said, I'll cut your hours, but I'll give you better health care. And the other said, no, I'll give you the health care, but you got to work, extra hours. Or you could strike and say, no, give me what I want, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to choose.
Withholding your labor against the capitalist class is a far different dynamic than wasting your vote. It just simply is.
Well, so hold on. Like, which Democrat would I vote for? You know what I mean?
The one who is the nominee.
Absolutely not. Biden? No way.
Let
me think. Kamala Harris? No way. She locked up innocent people, man. That's nuts. Tulsi Gabbard, a major in the National Guard with real military experience, who was anti-war.
I'm not telling you who to vote for in the primary, but the fact of the matter is that if Kamala Harris does not win the nomination, she, writing her in is useless act.
Would you vote for Kamala Harris if she got the nomination?
I would vote against Donald Trump.
But Kamala Harris locked up innocent people.
I am aware of that.
Oh, dude.
Donald Trump.
I mean, man.
Donald Trump. He has literally kidnapped children who will never be reunited with their parents. They are in foster homes and they will never be reunited.
I mean, there's an entirely more complicated issue. What's going on with the border.
What I just told you is perfectly clear. And it's perfectly.
I gotta say, Kamala Harris willfully locking up innocent people and extending their prison sentences is very different from people entering the country illegally and whether or not Trump's enforcement crossed the line.
Taking children.
Okay, look.
Separating them from their parents, they will never see them again. The parents will never see the children.
Did Kamala Harris separate the people she locked up from their kids too? She did. Great, she's worse.
Permanently? No.
Well, yeah, she locked people up that were innocent and held them beyond their terms for cheap labor, separating them from their families. I would never vote for that. That's dangerously scary. Like, for all the bad things Trump has done, we can compare and try and quantify what's bad. I'm not going to vote for either of it.
I understand, and you will feel like you have a clean conscience, but you will also be deluding yourself because you will have no impact on the future. And really, frankly, I think that it's
tell the unions that
it is. No, you're conflating.
No. I'm talking about standing up and being that tree, regardless of the majority.
Withholding labor from capitalists is different.
That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is when you're facing defeat, don't give in to immorality simply because it's slightly less immoral. That doesn't make sense. How do you quantify evil or immorality? Amorality?
Someone once called my show with this question. Then I got to go because I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, sorry. I appreciate you being on for as long as you did, though. But we did go a bit longer than I should have.
They said to me, would you be in favor of more concentration camps or less concentration camps? So if you knew that you were voting for someone who was going to create, and they asked me this because I'm a Jew.
You're talking about Obama?
No, they're asking, this is a hypothetical that a caller asked me because I was Jewish. Mm-hmm. And they would say to me, they said to me, would you vote in favor of someone that you could be sure was going to create 10 concentration camps? Or would you vote for someone who would create 5 concentration camps? Or would you not vote? And
not vote.
I would vote for someone who is going to create less concentration camps.
So you're willing to put your weight behind somebody who's going to make concentration camps?
No, I'm not willing to put. I'm willing to put my weight behind diminishing the number of concentration camps.
I think that before you go, it's a really great point that I think may separate. It's utilitarianism versus deontologism. That you're quantifying versus I'm not. You see what I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying your philosophical standard is the minimization of harm, and mine is more about the individual is the small. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I'm curious about the second part of that. You said, you know what I mean, because I really don't.
Oh,
so minimization of harm.
The two philosophies
about feeling.
Violating the ethics of an individual is violating ethics regardless. And yours is minimization of harm is better. So utilitarian versus deontological. From my standpoint, committing one unethical act is a violation of principle and ethics that can't be crossed. But I will admit, there's not like a hard line. It's you know.
I think that is silly, to be honest with you.
I mean, I respect you, you know, but they're very strong philosophical positions held by most people.
I believe that less suffering is better, and that I am willing to.
I will tell you something you won't like to hear, though.
I'm willing to sully myself if that's the outcome.
But I'll tell you something you're not going to want to hear, and I admit it's I'll call it dickish. Utilitarianism is typically the villain in most movies.
I don't care.
Yeah. So for instance, like Thanos was utilitarian, and Captain America was deontological.
I didn't.
So Thanos willing to reduce the suffering by killing, you know, hundreds of trillions versus the, you know, thousands of trillions, which would be living better off. So, cite comic book movies.
I'm not having to kill anybody. I'm just voting and choosing.
I mean, if you vote in favor of somebody who's going to build a concentration camp, you are.
No, one of these people is going to win, Tim. One of these two outcomes
stand in the resistance.
I can do that after I try and minimize what I'm going to be having to resist.
The concentration camp only gets built if enough people like you believe they should support this person in fear.
I got news for you. If 95% of the people don't vote, it's still going to get built.
That's actually not true. We have rules for that.
The big argument that I heard from folks who were saying that they wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump was, we're going to teach the Democrats a lesson. And they're going to
that was a decent amount. That was the 12 to 18%.
They cannot take our vote for granted. And
those are the Bernie or bust people, though.
Do you think that lesson was learned?
No way.
Right, of course not. And you know what? I said that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But they voted for Trump. You know, you see the point? Like,
by not voting, they voted for Trump. Yes.
For me, it's simple. If it's not one or the other. You're not either a utilitarian or deontologist.
Those are your philosophical things. I'm telling you,
they're just standard philosophies. But the point I'm making is
one of two people will win the election. It'll either be Donald Trump.
Only because of that mentality, man.
No, it's because of the system that we have.
It's because you put confidence in that system and I don't. And if you didn't either, man, imagine how many people would vote for somebody else and change things. It's like this. If everyone in a company stood up and walked out, they get what they want.
But you know what, Tim? You and I are not going to convince those people to walk out.
I disagree.
Well,
it's like this. I'll put it this way. The way I see it is an analogy. I understand labor is different, but I'm imagining being in a workplace and having someone say, you'll never convince the rest of the employees of this company to stand up and strike. So why do it? Just take the small raise.
The analogies that you are making are not the same. They're not doing the work that you want to do. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to jump off a building. Do I jump off a 20-story building or a 5-story building? You have
20.
no choice. Okay.
You're going to die either way. Make it quick, right?
And vote for Trump.
No, but people did. That was literally what people thought.
I've got to push somebody off a 20-story building or a 5-story building because it's not me who's going to suffer. It may not be you. If there's no difference between Joe Biden, who I loathe beyond my ability.
Yeah, you should not be in the race.
And Donald Trump. It's not going to be me or you who are going to suffer. It's going to be other people, people who are far more vulnerable than we are. Maybe your mom might suffer.
I'm not gonna ever vote for anybody in support of a concentration camp or any other very dangerous policy.
You're not going to vote
to
minimize the number of concentration camps is really what you're saying.
I'm going to vote for the person who says no concentration camps.
What? But there isn't a person who says that.
I think Tulsi Gabbard is. And to a lesser extent, Andrew Yang. I think Tulsi's fantastic. Not perfect, but she's one of the best I've seen in a long time. I'm hoping.
you're missing the analogy. I mean, you're pretending that there's a third option and there isn't, Tim. This is not the way our system works. But listen, I gotta go. That's my job. I'm sorry.
Right on, man. Hey, thanks. Let's try and do it again. I think we might have gone too long, so I'll try and figure something out. But seriously, man, I really do appreciate having a conversation with you.
Hold on 1 second. Hold 1 second.
All right, man.
Yes, thank you, Tim. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care, dude.
Okay, guys, leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below, and I'll do a follow-up video in the next couple days. Oh, remember to go to my website, highimpactflix.com, and sign up for free to my newsletter. I'm giving away a free high-resolution poster of the Clinton body count to everybody who's on my list by 11:59 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow morning. That's November 4th. If you're watching this video after November 4th, don't worry about it. Sign up anyway. I'm always giving away some cool free stuff. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.